Ascent. I'm Molly Carmel, and this is the podcast I always wish existed. A bite sized, on the ground spiritual note that can shift your thinking and your outlook on life to help make us all a little bit more awake, alive, and ascending. So, we got to talk about loneliness. We do, it's such an epidemic. But the kind of loneliness I actually want to talk about today is not the kind where you're physically alone. It's the kind where you're surrounded by people and still completely unreachable. Because I think that that is one of the most dangerous places that we can be. And I think that a lot of us are living there a lot more than we might be admitting. Eek. And I thought about this because I was recently sitting with a client who was just in this really deep stretch of isolation, like not leaving her house, not leaving her bed. And she was so convinced, and I mean convinced, that what she needed was just to stay in bed. That bed was safe and like there was nowhere else but there, there's no place like home, and home was bed. And I sat with her in that and I thought, wow, I really, really know this. Like, I know exactly this. Isolation is a real tricky one because it doesn't actually announce itself as a problem. It actually announces itself as a solution, right? It says, you need rest, you need space, you need to take a break from people right now. And as you know, because Daily Ascent is so much about this, sometimes that's true. But a lot of the time, for those of us who are wired this way, and I'm one of these people, it's actually sort of the illness of isolation talking. And boy, is it convincing. And then isolation can take on a sort of different character. Because I know for me, I have stood in rooms of people, in parties with friends that I really love, and then lots and lots of people I don't know, and felt completely alone. I felt different. I felt othered. I felt not enough. I felt like there was some like invisible wall between me and everyone else. And like I was the only one who felt it. And in those moments, isolation comes in a totally different way, right? I know for me, like I go cold, I go deeply internal, something closes off in me, and then it's like ice forms around my heart. I think of it exactly like that. And I'm right there, completely surrounded by people, and at the same time, completely unreachable. And then if I'm lucky, something happens, which is perhaps somebody comes and sparks up a conversation with me. Nothing dramatic, nothing planned, but just a person maybe also in the same place, but more skilled at the moment, trying and deciding to connect. And when that happens, I can really feel that ice start to melt, slowly and then all at once. And the more I let myself be in it, the more I can get into real and authentic connection, true, actual contact with another human being, the more I remember who I am. And the more I remember that connection, not isolation, connection is my life force. It pumps my heart. It de-ices my heart. I'm not built for this ice, right? And so in that way, for me, connection is not optional. It's necessary. And isolation, and I think this is for a lot of us ascenders, it's just one of the most dangerous places that we can live. And, I don't need to tell you, with all of our screens and all of our scrolling, isolation is easier and easier and easier. So I want to bring today's pocket sage, Johann Hari. He's amazing. I've actually seen him and met him. And let me tell you something. His writing, he's a journalist and an author, but he's also such a dynamic human. And he spent years investigating addiction and what actually causes human suffering. He's written amazing books, and He landed on something so simple and so profound that I really, as an addictions therapist, think about all the time. And listen, before I get to this, this is our week of spiritual truth coming from anywhere. And today, this is from Johann's decades of research and his TED Talk, which I highly recommend you watch. It's amazing. And I don't just think that 25 million people agree with me. So here's what he has to say. Loneliness isn't the physical absence of other people. It's the sense that you're not sharing anything that matters with anyone else. If you have lots of people around you, perhaps even a husband or a wife or a family or a busy workplace, but you don't share anything that matters with them, then you'll still be lonely. The opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection. Let me read that again for those of you in the back. Loneliness isn't the physical absence of other people. It's the sense that you're not sharing anything that matters with anyone else. If you have lots of people around you, perhaps even a husband or wife or a family or a busy workplace, but you don't share anything that matters with them, then you'll still be lonely. The opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection. I mean, it's like you can be in the room, like you can be in the room. And if the ice is up and nothing real is passing between you and another person, it's going to breed isolation and disconnection. And so our word of the day today, connection. I know, really, really had to go far to get that one with me, right? But I'm saying connection. I'm not talking proximity, obviously. I'm talking about the real kind of connection, right? When something true passes between you and another person and they receive it, when you're known, even just a little teeny bit by someone who chooses to stay, right? And connection's what we're wired for. It's what the ice cuts us off from. And it's what, in the depths of isolation, feels the most impossible to reach for. I know that very, very personally. And what this reading is saying is that the cure for loneliness isn't necessarily adding more people, it's adding more realness, more of the true, like the truest parts of ourselves. And so here's what I want us to think about today. If you're relating to what I'm saying, and I hope you are, then the loneliness that you can feel around other people, like in a crowded room, it isn't evidence that connection is unavailable to you. It's just evidence that your heart got the ice around it. And remember, ice melts. I think, listen, I think all loneliness is dangerous. I do. I think it's what's really killing our souls right now. But I think among the most dangerous of it is the invisible kind, the kind where you're functioning and you're present and you're going through the motions and underneath nothing is landing, right? Nothing's getting in because it doesn't look like isolation from the outside, right? It's like, it's how Instagram is, right? And how Instagram is us putting our best stuff out there and then feeling just so empty on the inside and not having authentic connection. And it can go a long time without anyone, including you, naming it for what it is. And, I've been a therapist for 25 years, working with people in addiction and recovery and eating disorders. And I mean, and I'm myself in recovery from all of it. And here's what I really know to be true. And I'm not the only one who knows this. The substance isn't the point. The substance, it isn't even the problem. The substance is a solution to something that came before it, a disconnection or a wound or a way of being in the world that made real contact feel impossible or unsafe. And what we know heals it, and this is the research that's in this amazing TED Talk, is connection, real connection, the kind where something true gets said and someone stays. And Hari found such remarkable stuff in his research. And here's what he found. I'll give you the Cliffs Notes, though I really recommend you watch it. Rats that were in isolation and given access to drugs used them compulsively, compulsively. And then when you put these rats that were compulsively using drugs in a rich and connected environment, think like a rat playland, they stopped using the drugs. And it's not because the drug changed or the access to the drug changed. It's because their life changed and connection filled something that the drug had been filling. And listen, I've seen this in my clinical work for sure, but I've seen this in my own life more times than I can count. And I have to tell you, as a recovering isolator, I'm always like, huh, well, it really is true that connection is the opposite of isolation and addiction, right? Like, it's crazy. And the ice I feel in a crowded room is not who I am. It's a protection that I built a long, 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 long time ago that I often forget that I no longer need. And every time someone sparks up a conversation, every time I let something real pass between me and another person, every time that ice melts even a little, I can remember what's really true, which is that I'm not built for isolation. I'm built for connection, and so are you. You don't have to be the one who reaches necessarily. Sometimes you just have to be the one who lets someone in, and then the ice will melt because it always does. The opposite of addiction is connection. And connection starts the moment that you stop keeping people at a distance and let one person a little closer. And so, my reflective question for you today: what are you doing to keep people at a distance right now? And what would it feel like to just let one person in? And listen, if part of your isolation pattern is food and body obsession and everything in between, right? Eating alone, eating in secret, disconnection from your body, boy, do I have a solution for you. That is the program that I run, and it is absolutely incredible, changing people's lives in ways that I'm shocked by, the Stop Starting Over system. I just want to tell you, you don't have to untangle it alone. And you can book a discovery call with me. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to mollycarmel.com to learn more. I would love to chat with you. And until then, I am right here with you, Ascenders, letting my own ice melt one person at a time. And listen, if you are an Ascender, let's go on a recruitment mission. Let's get more. Share this, post it on your Instagram, shout it from the rooftops. The more, the merrier, because we rise together. Until next time.